The PlayStation Store's Critics' Choice sale is going on right now, and I know for a lot of you guys, you are looking for games on a tight budget, so that's what we're going to be going over in today's video. Specifically, 12 great deals under the price of $10. Some of them are significantly under $10, so without further ado, let's get right into this. Kicking things off, and this is a very timely recommendation, Metro Redo is available for $8.99. Now, we just had the release of Metro Exodus. That is being received very well. However, if you want to see where the Metro series originated from, you need to check out the Metro Redo collection. This not only includes Metro 2033, but as well the follow-up in Metro Last Light. Both of those games coming to the PlayStation 4 with better technical performance, better visuals, and all that good stuff. Metro 2033 didn't even see a release on the PlayStation 3, so if you want to play it on a PlayStation platform, the Redo collection is the only way to do so, and Last Light, while it was available on the PS3, it wasn't a great version given how technically demanding the game was. Now with this collection, they look a lot better, they play better, and the games themselves are great. Are they as good as Exodus? No, they're a little bit older, they're a little bit more finite in their content. However, in terms of storytelling and the atmosphere the games offer for $8.99, the Metro Redo collection is still a great buy, and I would give it a strong recommendation. Moving on from that, another game that's a very timely recommendation is Titanfall 2, the Ultimate Edition. That's available for $7.49. Now, of course, Respawn Games recently put out their massive blockbuster success in Apex Legends. That game has just taken the gaming world by storm. However, I've always been a big fan of Respawn, and one of the main games that have shown us what they could do is Titanfall 2. Unfortunately, the game didn't do all too well from the get-go, but it has had a resurgence of interest thanks to Apex Legends and that game's inherent promotion. Titanfall 2 is a great game, a solid single-player campaign here, but the multiplayer has a lot of depth to it, a significant improvement upon the first Titanfall game, and with the Ultimate Edition, you will get some bonus content. $7.49 for it is a great buy. Next up, we have a very interesting narrative-driven adventure in What Remains of Edith Finch. That's available for $7.99. What Remains of Edith Finch is a first-person exploration game. You explore the Finch house and surrounding wilderness through a linear series of rooms, footpaths, and secret crawl spaces. You're guided through the house by voice narration from Edith Finch herself, and as you play through the game, the story behind this house is unveiled to you, and it's a pretty interesting narrative-driven game that'll keep you hooked until the end. $7.99, still a little bit high of a price point. Would have liked to see it a little bit cheaper, but What Remains of Edith Finch is such a good game that I would still give it a recommendation. Next up, we have the charming platformers in Unravel and Unravel 2. They are each available for $7.99. Unravel is a great pair of games. They're charming platformers published by EA, and the games aren't perfect. However, if you just want lovable games with a very charming protagonist in Yarny, this is the game for you. It's not one to take incredibly seriously, but it is moving at the same time. The puzzles are very intricately done, and Unravel 2 also adds the element of cooperative play, so that's something to note as well. The first game still being $7.99 is a little bit hefty of a price point. Unravel 2 is a more recent release, so I think it gets away with that, but they're both really good platformers, so I would give them a recommendation. Next up, we have a fantastic survival horror game. Soma is available for $8.99. This is a game done by Frictional, the guys that are most famous for Amnesia, and unfortunately, it didn't seem like Soma got the commercial reception as an Amnesia. Amnesia just took the gaming world by storm. However, Soma, on the other hand, was more of an unsung gem, but the game itself, I think, is better than Amnesia. It's a very atmospheric survival horror title, a great story here. Yes, it's light on the action-based gameplay, but that's kind of good for a survival horror game, and that's what Frictional goes for. For $8.99, if you're into horror games, Soma is one you should absolutely check out. Some great visuals here as well. Next up, we have Lords of the Fallen Complete Edition for $4.49. Now, whenever you talk about Lords of the Fallen, it is apropos that you make some comparisons to Souls, because Lords of the Fallen is very similar to Souls. However, it's definitely got its own unique flair, and I'm not gonna lie to you guys, Lords of the Fallen isn't as good as the Souls game, but it does set a pretty interesting premise in its own right, and Deck 13 have followed up on the release of Lords of the Fallen with The Surge, and The Surge is a better game. However, Lords of the Fallen still offers some interesting combat, and if you generally like the Souls games and you just want more of that with some interesting takes, Lords of the Fallen is worth a check out. The Complete Edition is very cheap at $4.49, so I would give it a recommendation. Moving on from that, we have Tacoma for $6.99, another narrative-driven adventure. Tacoma is an exploration game set aboard a seemingly empty space station in 2088. You, as Amy, has an augmented reality device that allows you to review actions and conversations of the NPC that were a part of the crew that had been aboard the station before. These can be manipulated like a recording, fast-forwarding, or rewinding, and that kind of unveils the story in the background of Tacoma. There's a lot of interesting characters here, and yes, it's a little bit on the short side. However, the narrative is so strong and it's such a compelling experience that in that short span, it does a lot For $6.99, again, a solid pickup with Tacoma at this price. Moving on from that, in our other video covering this sale, I talked about Gravity Rush 2. Well, under $10 will get you Gravity Rush Remastered for $8.99. This game was originally released on the PlayStation Vita, later made the transition to the PlayStation 4, and one thing to note is if you want this game physically, you are going to pay a hefty price for it because the physical copy of Gravity Rush Remastered is super expensive. Thankfully, the digital copy is just $8.99, and it is a great game. Yes, it's originally a PlayStation Vita game, but visually it still holds up because Gravity Rush just had a great art style, so even all these years later, it holds up rather well. The controls make a solid transition over to the DualShock 4 controls, which is great because it was a game that utilized the PlayStation Vita's exclusive features, and the gameplay is very interesting. Again, Gravity Rush, in my opinion, one of the most underrated PlayStation exclusive franchises ever. I hope to see it make a comeback at some point, but at this point, I think that's pretty unlikely. But if you've never played Gravity Rush, definitely give Remastered a look at $8.99, and then check out Gravity Rush 2 as well. That's available for $11.99 as a part of this sale. A significantly better game, but the first game is definitely worth playing as well. Moving on from that, we have Dirt Rally for $7.99. Dirt Rally is an off-road racing game with a lot of style to it. Yes, it's a little bit challenging and it has a little bit of a learning curve to it, but it's also extremely exhilarating and extremely rewarding. The Dirt franchise has been around for a long time and Codemasters have done a great job with it. Rally being under $10, I can give that an easy recommendation. However, as more of a racing sim, it's going to cater to some people more than others. If you guys are a fan of the Dirt franchise, obviously you're going to enjoy it. Otherwise, if you guys want more of an arcade racer, we've got a recommendation coming up for you, but Dirt Rally for $7.99 is still a great pickup. Speaking of that arcade racer, Burnout Paradise Remastered is available for just $5.99. Burnout Paradise originally released all the way back in January of 2008, and yes, with the game being this old, you have to wonder, is it a little bit dated? And I do have to say, it has some dated elements. However, being an arcade racer, being a game that's built on high-octane fun, it still holds up really well in 2019. Initially, this game was released at $40, and I thought that was way too high of a price point, but now that it's down to $5.99, if you want a quality arcade racer, and the options on the PlayStation 4 are few and far between, Burnout Paradise Remastered is a great option to pick up, especially with all of the extra content you get. The game does look better, and it's coming at you at such a cheap price at $5.99. So for you guys looking for a high-octane, fun arcade racer, Burnout Paradise Remastered definitely fits that bill. Next up, we've got another very story-driven game, and that is Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons. That's available for $5.99. I have seen this game a little bit cheaper, especially on PC. I believe it's been as low as $3. Wish it was around that price on PlayStation 4 as well. But nonetheless, Brothers is such a terrific game that it's easy to give a recommendation to this one. Obviously, as the title would suggest, you play as two brothers and you follow them on a very emotional journey where you'll go through different obstacles, you'll interact with different characters, and it's just a very emotional game that might leave you in tears by the end. That is not hyperbole. This is just a very moving game. $5.99 for this one. Yes, it's a little bit on the shorter side. However, it's an experience I think everyone should go through. It's a tremendous game, and for the quality that you're getting for the price that you're paying, it's a no-brainer to check out this one. And lastly, for those of you guys looking for a pretty good fighter, Guilty Gear Xrd REVELATOR is available for just $3.99. Now, Guilty Gear Xrd REVELATOR has been out for a long time, so if you're looking for a game to really get into the online component and looking for an active community, you're not gonna find that here. However, if you do want a fun fighting game on the cheap that you can play with a couple of friends while they're over, Guilty Gear Xrd will definitely offer you that. There's a litany of different modes too. You've got your online mode, you've got battle mode, and you do have a story mode as well. And the story mode presents the full game story as a film-like animation divided into several chapters for uninterrupted viewing. You can pause the movie at any time to investigate a glossary of different terms and plot devices which will enhance the storytelling as well. And Guilty Gear Xrd available for just $3.99. Again, if you want a decent fighting game, not a bad option. And that's gonna conclude this video. Again, that wraps up 12 great deals as a part of the PlayStation Store's Critics' Choice sale. All of these under $10. And all of them are great games, and I can give them easy recommendations, especially at the low price that you're paying. That's gonna conclude this video. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.